Most of us don't spend enough time cultivating, nurturing, and building relationships. So we don't spend enough time networking.
We welcome you to come hear more from Dr. Fraser on the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. We'll see you there. Hello, did you know? It's time for the show. I want to welcome you to the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. Hi, I am your host, Dr. Lotus Riche, and today I've got two things on my mind. What are they, Dr. Lowe? Glad you asked. I've got an amazing lady. She's an author. She's a coach. She is the coach of all coaches. She helps you with transformation, and she helps you to become the powerhouse that you are designed to be. That's right. We've got Coach P in the house, Miss Pamela Lu Hing. And another amazing powerhouse is here this evening. None other than international speaker, #1 international author, and thought leader. Everybody knows him around the world. And tonight, if you don't know him, you're going to know today. Dr. Amazing George C. Fraser. And so go ahead, come on in and get in where you fit in and go tag a friend and let them know it's time to blow your mind with the Ignites show this evening. See you on the inside.
Ignite your life, ignite your mind. Dr. Lotus Riche is powerful, empowering, engaging, and impactful. It's time to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Welcome to the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. Let's get ignited.
All right, welcome to the show. And tonight, as you come in, we want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Please let us know where you're streaming in from, whether it's Dubai or Canada or even Australia or Japanese. Watashi wa Lotus desu ka. So whatever language you speak, we want you here. So tonight, as we get started, we're first going to have our amazing coach of all coaches, Coach Pamela Lu Hing. So go ahead and tag a friend and come on in and let us know who you're tagging and where they are. So with no further ado, I'll be right back to you with Pamela Lu Hing.
Ignite your life, ignite your mind. Dr. Lotus Riche is powerful, empowering, engaging, and impactful. It's time to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Welcome to the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. Let's get ignited.
All right. I've got her, the queen, Miss Pamela Lu Hing. Hello, Pam. Great to have you here.
You never disappoint, Lotus. Dr. Lotus Riche, you never disappoint. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. I got to tell you, Pam, it's been a while since I've seen you, and I'm going to see you at this upcoming event. And we're not going to let all the cats out of the bag, right. But this event is going to be one for the record book. So y'all stay tuned, because you got to stay to the end, because we got a special treat for you. We're going to give you some secret sizzling sauce. So Pam, let's get right down to this thing tonight. We have Dr. George C. Fraser in the house with us tonight. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about him before we bring him on, because we know that Dr. Fraser is like, he's how can I say this? He's a superstar. So Dr. Fraser has insisted for 40 years that there be a change in people's life. He was born in 1945. I know that, and I know you knew that. He was born in Brooklyn to a troubled family of 11 children. How many children were in your family, Pam?
In mine, just me, right? With my mom. Just me and mama. That's it.
So, and you know, I know that. But can you imagine being one of 11 troubled family, and being one of 11? Can you imagine that?
I can't.
I can't either. But
No.
you know, after a serious mental health issues with his mom and his 2-year-old, he was 2 years old, and his 6 of his siblings, they were orphaned. And then they were put into a toxic foster home for about 16 years. Can you imagine that?
Cannot.
I can't imagine that either. And you know, he wasn't considered to be in college because he wasn't considered college material. So he was sent to a vocational high school. And then he got a diploma in carpentry. And really the rest was history, because I've heard about Dr. Fraser everywhere I've gone. And you know, Dr. Fraser always believed that it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. And that God has great plans for each of us.
That's right.
And you know what? Dr. Fraser also believed that we must simply listen to the voice of God, follow God's direction, overcome the obstacles, and stay the course. You know what Dr. Fraser's favorite line is? Now listen, I'm gonna tell you guys his favorite line, okay? But don't tell him, okay? It's from like this super rapper called Drake. He said, "I started from the bottom. Now we're here." That's right. Here is 79 years of life in 120 seconds. And tonight, we have the opportunity to have him on our show. So I want you and everybody you know to tag someone, tell them to come on in and get in where they're fitting. And all of you around the world, we want you to come in your own language, whether it's Spanish, French, Italian, German, whatever it is. We want you to say hello and give Dr. Fraser some love. So with no further ado, the next voice that we're bringing to you is none other than Dr. Fraser himself. If you're ready, go ahead and put some L's in the chat. Thank you. We'll be right back. Please welcome world-renowned thought leader and wealth educator, Dr. George C. Fraser. George C. Fraser. Let's ignite. Welcome to the show, Dr. George C. Fraser.
Good to be in the house. A beautiful introduction.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited.
We are excited to have you here tonight, Dr. George C. Fraser, and we are going to get right into it. Now, listen, if you have not shared this, we gave you a lot of time to share it. So go ahead and share it because we're getting right into it. So, Pam, Coach P, let's start with you because we've got some questions, Dr. Fraser, that people all over the world want to know about you. In fact, the way we came up with the questions because we did a poll and we asked people, young people, people in their 20s, people in their 30s, people in their 40s, and we had a woman in her 60s that came together to create these questions. So thank you for being here. Let's get started.
Thank you.
Coach
Yes.
B?
Yes. So I am honored, first of all. Every time I have an opportunity to be in Dr. George C. Fraser's space, I consider it a blessing. And tonight, I do hope that everyone does exactly what you told them to do, Lotus. Get their notebooks and pen because Dr. Fraser is definitely about to go in. So the first question that we have for you tonight is, why is networking so essential? You are known as the #1 networker in the world, Dr. Fraser. You know everyone from every facet of every country, everyone. So what is the essential, or why is networking so essential?
It's a wonderful question. It's a deep question. We could spend the whole show on talking about why this thing called networking, a term I did not invent by any stretch of the imagination, but wrote the first book targeted to the culture and to our community because we're different. We learn differently. We are oral, visual, tactile, kinesthetic learners, and so there were actually 14 books out. This is almost 40 years ago on the subject of networking. They were all, but 3 of them were on the New York Times bestsellers list. But I read them all, and they did not speak to us. So I wanted to write the first book. It's called "Success Runs in Our Race: The Complete Guide to Effective Networking in the Black Community." And it's a modern day classic. It's required reading in 57 historically Black colleges. It's the book that started the networking conversation in our culture and ultimately started the networking movement. Networking is critically important, not only for personal growth and development, but really for business. When you understand and you are an effective networker, you really get a chance to meet and connect with potential clients and customers when you're good at effective networking. We know the statistics tell us that most rich people have lots of friends, lots of contacts, and lots of connections. I have lots of friends, lots of contacts, and lots of connections. You also get a chance when you are effectively networking to get outside of your business and open yourself up to new ideas that come from new people. And that's really what feeds us. It's what challenges us. It what makes us better. It forces us to think. It also helps you to build your confidence and give you exposure. This is critically important, especially as you're going out trying to start, build, and scale a business. So let me say that a different way. You don't build a business. You build your people, and your people build your business, right? So the kind of people that you recruit to help you build your business is really the kind of people that you have effectively networked with, and they gather around. You serve them, they serve you, and together 1 + 1 makes 11 and not 2. You're not looking to make 1 + 1 making 2. You can make 1 + 1 making 2 with any damn body. You're looking for exponential growth, and so you have to pick the right people. That means that people will platoon in and out of your life. Okay, there are very few people. I can count mine on one hand that have been with me from 0 to 79. Right, people platoon in and out of our lives, and I'll talk about how that happens in terms of the kinds of networks that people should have and should be cultivating through every passage of their life. I think the final reason, and we'll get off this topic question and get to another question, is you gain support, you gain knowledge from the people who are further along in business or in their profession than you are. That's really what you want to be able to do. You have to work on 3 kinds of networks throughout your entire life. If you're lucky, you'll get 8 passages in life, and each passage is 10 years, right? 10 years, right? Why is that? Because you're a different person at 10 than you were at 1. You're a different person at 20 than you were at 10. You're a different person at
Exactly.
30 than you were at 20, 40, then 30, 50, and right on down the line. So if you're lucky, you'll get 10 passes. You're constantly evolving, and people are platooning in and out of your life. The only person that has been in my life from 0 to 79 is my oldest sister. She's 1 year older. She lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. She has a PhD from Harvard. Her name is Emma Audrey Fraser, and that's the only person that still remains who's been with me from 0 to 49. There have been thousands of people that I have connected with, built relationships over time, but only a few remain, and that would be true for most folks. So this is an extremely important skill, along with emotional intelligence, which I think is the number one skill that people need to figure out how they are going to manage their 5 most important emotions. I think understanding how to build and to cultivate and to nurture and again to build those relationships is a very, very, very critical skill. There are 3 kinds of networks that all of us have to work on for our entire life. A personal network. These are the people that cheer you on, lift you up, right? Hug you, love you. Let's call that your network at home. Things are not right at home. They're not going to be right in almost all facets of your life. So that's the number one network. The second network is what I call an operational network. These are the people that help you to get specific tasks done in life. As I mentioned to you earlier, they platoon in and out of your life. You help them get something done, they help you get something done. That's an operational network. You learn skills from them, and they learn skills from you by helping each other. And then the third network is your strategic network. These are the people who are smarter than you. These are the people who will drag you into the 21st century kicking, screaming, and crying. These are the people who are where you want to be. These are the people that ultimately can be your mentors and your coaches. So those are the 3 networks that you have to spend a quality amount of time each week and each day. We did a national study when we started this company some almost 45 years ago. We commissioned the Gallup organization to do a national study on the differences in networking techniques and time spent between blacks and whites. Interesting factoid came out of that.
Yes.
White people spend on average, this is 10 years ago, we did the study, on average spent about 40% of their time working on cultivating, nurturing, and building relationships at work, at home, and in the community. Black people at that time that they answered the questions in the survey spent about 10% of their time, and 40% of the people, brothers and sisters in the survey, said that networking wasn't really important. What was really important was your college degree, was your education. Wrong. I don't care if you have a PhD from MIT in computer science. If you have the box of rocks, if you have the personality, I should say, of a box of rocks, and you don't know how to effectively build and cultivate and nurture relationships at work, at home, and in the community, you ain't going nowhere, right? So this is extremely important that we understand why this is a foundational skill and it is an evergreen skill. You don't just network when you're young, right? You network through every phase of your life. You cultivate, nurture, build relationships through every phase of your life. Now, what is the number one assignment for effective networking? Here's the number one assignment: your life partner. Your life partner. Now, that will be the single biggest decision you will make in life. Is who you put your hand on the Bible and say, "Till death do us part." Right? Now, that's a heck of a thing to say to anybody. I give my entire life to you. So making that decision, I think, is the most important singular decision that you can make in your life. And we have not been very good at it. at this moment in time. Now, that's another whole conversation because one of the, I think, the biggest issue that we have in the culture right now, 5 big issues. The number one issue we have in our community and culture is the disintegration of the institution of marriage in our culture. It's the number one thing that is going on, right? We are in an existential crisis, if you think about it, when it comes to marriage in our culture. And we have got to fix this, okay? Now, I'm not just saying it to be provocative. I'm saying it because it is absolutely the truth. Now, at 79, when I was growing up in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, marriage in our culture, this critical partnership, the number one person in our network, marriage was 85%. Today, it's 34%. So it's less than half. All kinds of studies say that unless something changes between black male female relationships, unless something changes, marriage in our culture within the next 20 years will be in the low teens. That's an existential crisis. Why? Because it impacts our wealth. I talk about wealth and I talk about relationships. It significantly impacts family wealth, right? And when you look at the 5 largest cultural groups in America, and you look at the median household annual income, and you look and you compare it to the, in quote, marriage rate, it's significant. Let me give you these statistics right quick. In the East Indian community in the United States, the average median household income is $124,000 a year. What is the marriage rate? 94%. In the Chinese Asian culture in this country, the average median household income is $109,000 and the marriage rate is 61%. Now, East Indian and Chinese have now replaced white people as the number one median household income. White people are now third at $81,000 and marriage rate is at 57%. Hispanics are number 4 and the household median income is $63,000 and the marriage rate is 67%. We are at the bottom of this list, $53,000 median income, the marriage rate is 34%. 66% of our black men are not married, and 71% of our women are not married, and 29% of them will never get married. Now, it could be that we are such a creative force, and we are. We are the most creative human beings on earth. It could be that we are changing the definition of marriage in our culture. And I would classify it, maybe it won't be called over the next 2 or 3 generations marriage. Maybe it will be called, Pamela, a situationship. Your situation,
That's right.
my situation. We can come together, we can live together, we can build together. We don't have to sign a business deal. And if you ever become unhappy with the situation or me, then we can bless it and release it. Maybe that's what's happening in our culture. I don't know. Maybe we're redefining this concept of marriage. But I think we have to be very, very careful about this because 72% of our children are born out of wedlock and 70% of our children are raised in a single parent household. So all the statistics, and I want to say this, brothers and sisters, and still be loved, I'm still talking about networking. I'm talking about the number one person in your network, your partner. Okay. Your partner. That's the number one person, and that's first, right? It's based on all the trends and all the statistics. it seems to me that our sisters would rather have babies than to be a wife because they're moving away from that. Now, can it be repaired? Should it be repaired? Or should we allow a new definition of this thing called partnership evolve and become what it's going to become? Now, you didn't ask me all those questions, but you asked me, why is networking important? I talked about the business aspects of networking, but then we got to get right down to the nitty gritty, and that's one-on-one, the number one person in our network, and that is the person that we decide to partner with. So,
Right.
so long
So
as,
I want to roll back to something you just said. You shared that sisters are electing to have children out of wedlock. I think you shared
yes,
that. And
yes.
so it begs this question: what are our brothers doing? Are our brothers choosing not to be married, just to have children out of wedlock for the sake of saying, I don't want to be attached? Because when we say that sisters are doing it, what are our brothers are doing? What are our brothers doing? We got to look at both sides of the coin.
Oh yeah, sure.
Talk about that.
I think our brothers are struggling. Um, because this is the question I ask sisters all the time, and then I ask brothers the opposite of this. What is the number one thing that a man wants from a woman? What is the number one thing, especially a black man, wants from a woman? 100 sisters I've asked that question, not one has ever been able to answer it. Closest they come is they want respect. Yes, that is absolutely. Black men want respect because they don't get it anyplace else. They damn sure want to get it at home. So that's number two. But the number one thing is peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. I mean, we are the most hated people in America. Black men. Okay, I'm talking about chocolate brothers. We're the most hated people, the most targeted people on the planet, and we bust our behinds when we go out here to do our thing. When we come home, we want peace, and absolutely we want respect. And here's another third thing that a lot of people never think about. And I can speak to this as a brother married to a sister for 51 years. Okay, so I have a little experience with this. What's the third thing a man wants? He wants peace first, respect second, and then the third thing a man wants is non-sexual intimacy.
Yes. Yes.
Right? We don't have to be jumping up and down on each other, but we can hold each other, we can touch each other, we can encourage each other, we can inspire each other, we can hug each other. That's non-sexual intimacy. I'm not saying a man does not want sex. Absolutely, we are men. Of course we do. Right. So I didn't mean to get off on that. Now, what is the number one thing a woman wants from a man? Well, when you put your hand on the Bible and say, till death do us part, the first two things are spoken: to provide and protect. Now, if I was fortunate enough, my wife wanted to work. That was her choice. She didn't have to work. But at the end of the day, if she did not work, the number one responsibility I had for that family was to provide and protect. Was my job. So those are the first two things I think that a woman wants from
Absolutely.
a man.
Absolutely.
No question about that. There's a whole list of other things, but we're getting off the subject. But it's such an important. The whole idea of effectively networking begins with the biggest and most important choices that you will make about the people that you bring into your life. And the number one, of course, is if you decide to have a life partner. Now, not everybody's married, and marriage isn't right for everybody. I mean, that's a choice, and that's a personal decision. But you need to understand that choice. And I champion this because without couples, you have no families. Without families, you have no community. Without community, you have no tradition. And without tradition, you have no culture. You see, it's a domino effect. It's all connected.
So, Doc,
Right.
we gotta shift gears here, because I heard you say it might seem like we're off the topic. No, we're not off the topic, because we got one of our viewers saying, I concur that your partner should be your number one network and partnership. So we're right on target with that.
Okay.
So having said that, first I want to thank you. Everybody that's viewing us. Please go ahead, like, share, and tag your friends, because we're right on target, because this is about networking. How to be able to network in such a way that it's going to help cultivate what you need in your business. And so, Dr. Fraser, you talked about this, and you talked about how networking contributes to the bottom line of families. Did he not? Yes, he did. If he did, go ahead and put it in. He broke it all down. He broke it culturally. He gave us statistics. He gave us the numbers that are, you can go and look the numbers up. They're Googleable. Okay. So go look those numbers up. So Dr. Fraser, let's talk about this from a business aspect, because we've got a lot of folks on and they're like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business person. How does networking contribute to my bottom line?
Yeah. It's everything.
It's everything.
It's everything. I don't care if you're working in the public, private, or corporate sector. I don't care if you are a solopreneur or if you're a big time entrepreneur. It's everything. I said earlier that the most common attribute of the rich are friends, contacts, and connections. In fact, there is a biblical declaration on the importance of the human connection. It's a direct quote from Jesus Christ. This has everything to do with business. It's from Jesus Christ. John 5:30. Look it up. Google it, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
You know, there are 800,000 words in the Bible. Only 1,500 of those words are from Jesus Christ. Here's a direct quote from Jesus. And Jesus said, I of my own self can do nothing. Now, this was Jesus. He couldn't get it done on his own by himself in a vacuum. So what's up with you? Why would you think you could do anything significant, anything worth talking about on your own by yourself in a vacuum? You cannot, especially if you are in business. Why? Because business is about relationships. Without relationships, you have no business. Without relationships, you have no business being in business. In fact, the business you're really in case no one has ever told you, you're in the business of building relationships. There is no success that you can attain, sustain, or maintain on your own by yourself in a vacuum. It is simply not possible. In fact, the most powerful asset that you will have in the 21st century, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens out there, the most powerful asset that you will have will not be AI. It will be your relationships. That's the most powerful asset that you are ever going to have in every facet of your life. Your relationships. Will AI help you? Absolutely. That's what it's designed to do. It is not designed to replace you. It is designed to help you. Now, if you don't learn how to use AI, you will be replaced.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. So we're going to take a quick break, everybody. Woo! I told you he was coming in. He was bringing the fire. Listen, take notes. Take notes. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back.
Like sun to the day, we are light, and we shine forevermore. The Black History Song. Stream now on your major music platform.
It is without question that the upcoming event called the Weekend of Enlightenment, hosted by the George Floyd Memorial Center, is a must-attend event as we partner to share the amazing wealth of energy, knowledge, and positive vibes across the planet. Hello, my name is Dr. Lotus Riché, the CEO and founder of Lotus Riché Coaching and Consulting LLC and the host of the Lotus Riché Ignite Show. I am partnered, and honorably so, with the George Floyd Memorial Center. And we are hosting a phenomenal event starting May 25th. It's an online event that you don't want to miss. And we're going even further on May 27th, where we're hosting the charity golf event in Cary, North Carolina. And to sum it all up, on the 28th, we're having... Now, if you want to hear more about that, you got to stay tuned. But for now, guess where we're going back to? We're going back to the powerhouse herself. That's right, Coach Pamela Luhing, and the number one leader when it comes to helping you understand leadership and networking, Dr. Fraser. Will be right back. Please welcome world-renowned thought leader and wealth educator, Dr. George C. Fraser. It's a doctor in the house, and his name is Dr. George C. Fraser. Welcome back. And if you are just joining us from all around the world, put this on repeat and make sure you take your notes. So as we come back, for those of you that don't know, you might just be joining us. We are here tonight with the coach of all coaches, Miss Pamela Luhing, also affectionately known as Coach P. And we see you. Wait, I got to say this. I talked to you about Dr. Fraser, but listen, some of you have questions and you're asking them, and we're going to get to them, but we want to say hi to you. We see you. You're saying konnichiwa all the way from DC. I see you in here from the Philippines. We're so happy to have you all the way from Ghana. Hello, Maurice. We're happy to have you here tonight, too. And wherever you're streaming in from, make sure you connect with Dr. George C. Fraser and Coach P. Make sure you do that. So, Pam, let's get right back into this discussion with our amazing guest, Dr. George C. Fraser. So I think you have a third question, Pam.
I do. Dr. Fraser, you have really took us to the classroom when it comes to developing our personal network and our personal relationships. You've also addressed business and building those business relationships. But let's talk about business development and how companies have had exponential growth in, say, the past 3 years. What is the trend? What do you see happening when it comes to business and developing those relationships?
Yes.
That's a great question, Coach. The newest statistics as it relates to entrepreneurship and our culture, and you notice I say culture generally instead of community. Culture is throughout the diaspora, right? But the statistics I'm going to give you are the U.S. statistics for our business development, Black folk in America. 3.7 million. There are now 3.7 million Black-owned businesses. It's the largest number of businesses in the history of Black people, the 400-year history of Black people in America. It's about a 40% growth over the last 5-year reporting period, and a huge percentage of that new growth are from Black women, right? So the upside of seeing that in my lifetime is we are finally beginning to think entrepreneurial. We're seeding millions of new businesses, right? So if we cultivate them and we fertilize them and we water those businesses, God knows what our culture will look like, or our community here in America will look like 20 or 30 years from now. That's the upside. Tremendous growth. It's a beautiful thing. We've moved beyond the mantra that I grew up with from my parents, which was get a good education and get a good job. That's really what we were shooting for when I was a kid. And if we went off to college and got some sort of skill or degree, we were heroes of the family, right? Well, that's not the new mantra, not for generations X, Y, and Z. The new mantra must be get a good education and create a job. Create a
Yeah.
job for yourself, create a job for your children, and if God gives you the power and the glory, create work and jobs for our people so that ultimately by the end of the 21st century, Black people will become the number one employer of their own people. Okay, as Jews are the number one employer of Jews, East Indians the number one employer of East Indians, Arabs are the number one employer of Arabs, right? So we must ultimately become the number one employer of our own people. So we're moving in the right direction. That's one side of the coin. Now the other side of the coin. Of the 3.7 million Black-owned businesses in America today, only 161,000 of those businesses employ anybody.
Right.
The average annual revenue of those 161,000 Black businesses that employ somebody is about $1.5 million a year. That's pretty decent. That means that 3.5 million of our businesses are sole proprietorships.
Yes.
And the average annual revenue of those sole proprietorships is less than $20,000 a year. That's below the poverty line. So that says to me that they're really side hustles. It's another stream of income. Nothing wrong with a side hustle. Really, the way you want to say it, it's another stream of income. But at least they're exploring, they're testing the waters, they're putting their toes in the water, and they're learning how not only to build a business, but to make a profit. Two different things. All right. So they're experimenting, and it's a low dollar investment, and they're trying different things, and they are looking for things to sell. And this is exactly what we ought to be doing. I tell Black folk all the time when I speak to entrepreneurs or speak to any Black audience in particular, I say, listen, in America, two things are going on 24/7. Somebody's buying and somebody's selling. Stop doing all the damn buying and do some selling, right? If you bake cookies, put them in a box and sell it to somebody. If you live on a farm, take the manure, put it in a bag, put your name on it, and sell it to somebody, right? You can become an entrepreneur, right? You can sell anything in this country. We need to do more selling than buying. So we're moving in that direction, and the new trends and the new facts on the development of entrepreneurship are very, very encouraging. And so I have, a lot of faith that as creative as we are, as I said earlier, we are the most creative people on the planet. We will make a way out of no way, right?
Yes.
In fact, we're building a whole museum in Atlanta, the Black Business Hall of Fame Museum and Hall of Fame Museum and Metaverse, celebrating the 400-year trajectory of our business contribution to capitalism. Right. So certainly slavery is already covered in the 110 Black History museums, and Jim Crow and our fight for freedom and our fight, to deliver ourselves from Jim Crow laws. That's already fabulously documented. But our business growth, that really needs to be emphasized. And we need more historically Black colleges who will deliver to their classes a degree in entrepreneurship. There are 150 colleges in America where you can actually go and get a degree, and the prestige of having a degree in entrepreneurship. Babson College is the number one college in delivering degrees on entrepreneurship. I'm hoping that historically Black colleges right now, no historically Black college, you can get a degree in business, you can get a degree in economics, and that's all well and good. You could probably take some majors in entrepreneurship, but you can't get degreed in it yet. So I'm hoping that over time, someday you'll be able to get a degree from a Morehouse or a FAMU, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the big ideas that will put entrepreneurship and business development and selling something instead of just buying something in the forefront of our culture and our people for years and generations to come.
So, Dr. Fraser, wow, that's you said like more than a mouthful. And those of you that are watching, continue to share this. Continue to share this. Okay. So we want to we have another question, okay?
Sure.
That I wanted to ask you about, but you kind of hit on it. Um, so I'm gonna do something a little different because you're talking about strategies, and we got a poll of questions, and they wanted to ask about strategies. But Dr. Fraser, you're doing something that a lot of people aren't doing. You're taking it to the streets and you're taking it to the people. And you might say, well, Dr. Lotus, what do you mean about that? What I mean about that is that you have Miss Pamela Luhing. You've partnered with some amazing people like Master P and a lot of state representatives and things like that. And you are putting on one of the must attend conferences of the year.
Mhm.
I heard it through the grapevine. And guess what? I already got my ticket. So I want to talk a bit about this, if we can, about why this PNEX is so amazing. But before we go there, because we want to give the floor back to you, before we go there, Coach P, you're a part of this amazing event. Can you talk to us and tell us why you became a part of this amazing event?
So, Dr. Lotus, let me tell you, God brings you what you need when you need it. And I didn't know that I needed a Dr. George C. Fraser in my life. I knew of Dr. George C. Fraser. I had heard of the Power Networking Conference, or it's the new name, of course. They've rebranded to the Power Networking Experience and Expo, until my friend Marlon called me up and said, hey, Pam, I'd like to invite you to an intimate gathering with Dr. George Fraser. And we're looking at bringing the conference to Charlotte back in February. I said, okay, great, great. Let me see where I can help. So I thought I was coming in to help, to lend a hand. And I ended up not just dipping my toe in the water, I just dove right in. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I did, because it is never a moment when I'm in Dr. Fraser's space that I'm not learning. And I have never attended the Power Networking Conference in the 22 years. I've heard about it, never attended. However, I am pretty much sold out. And why am I sold out? And I so believe in it. It's because of the man who's behind it. Because God has blessed him, has anointed him for this work and for such a time as this. Our people, our culture needs they need the message. They need to hear the message that God has given to Dr. Fraser to help us build from the inside out. And this conference is going to be about so much more than just business. As Dr. Fraser already talked about, it's about the family and building strong families and building relationships. But I am here. I am here because I firmly believe in the vision and the mission of Dr. George C. Fraser. And I promise you, if you decide, I'm going to say not if you decide, when you decide to join us in Charlotte, North Carolina, July 10th through the 13th, you will not be disappointed. So with that being said, I want to turn it over to Dr. George C. Fraser. Again, he's bringing it for the very first time here to Charlotte. And I want to say that we welcome you, Dr. Fraser, to Charlotte, North Carolina. We are so excited to have you and the team come here. And I tell you, it's going to be one of the best conferences. Dr. Fraser, you've got to know me a little bit. I'm a little competitive, right? And we got to be better than so it's got to be just that big and that bad, as they say. But Dr. Fraser, what inspired you? Let's just talk about that for a moment, because I want people to hear what I've heard. I want them to experience your heart. That's why I'm here. So what was your inspiration behind the Power Networking Conference and now experience?
I knew 25 years ago that if we were going to fulfill the the messages that God has downloaded to me, because that's how you write a book. I've written 6 best-selling books on networking and business. And you really are just the instrument, the vessel, and the tool. The key to writing successfully is to listen. I sit in a very comfortable chair with a legal pad and a pencil, and I just listen. So I call it a download. And God is just using me for whatever reason. He has decided to use me to, in fact, communicate these ideas. But it became clear to me that until we began to embrace the whole idea of effective networking and use that as we start and build our businesses, so that they would morph into businesses that were the result of strategic alliances, joint ventures, partnerships, and collaboration, that we would never maximize our full potential, right? So the question then became, that was the thought. That's the seed of the thought. Well, how does one do that? That's a pretty heavy load. How does one do that systemically, systematically, and consistently? What needs to happen? Books need to be written, words need to be spoken, and gatherings have to be planned on a regular basis to bring together people to deliver this message consistently over time, right? Because they can't hear it just one time, coach. They got to hear it 25 times. In fact, they got to hear the same stuff that we preach and teach at the Power Networking Conference, which is connect, grow, and prosper, right? If you want to change and transform your future, you have to connect, which is secure the coaching and the insights that align with your growth and goals. You've got to grow. You've got to elevate your ideas from a 5-figure potential to 6-figure reality and scale your 6-figure businesses into 7 business. And then you've got to prosper. You've got to learn from exclusive insights into new technologies and investment strategies that propel your wealth. Now, what's the purpose of all of that, Dr. Fraser? So that you will learn, earn, and return. That we have a lot of us learning and a lot of us earning, but not enough of us returning. And therein lies our problem, right? We have to come back. Ain't nobody saving black people but black people. It's been 400 years and we ain't saved. Who in the hell are we waiting for? We're waiting for us, right? Now, that whole vision statement evolved over time. It didn't start that quite elaborate. It just evolved to that, right? It started out connecting, growing, and prospering. If you look at the FraserNet logo, under the logo, and the business was founded 40 years ago, under the logo, connect, grow, and prosper. The whole idea of learning, earning, and returning was the natural result of connecting, growing, and prospering. So those ideas, I mean, it's a wonderful question. What seeded the idea? What inspiration? What download did you get? But then how did that morph into what it is today? And thank God I changed and evolved. I got better at what I was doing. And then thus my writing, my speaking, my talking about it got better. And then the instruments to deliver this message, this is an instrument. Social media is an instrument. Zoom calls are an instrument. StreamYard is an instrument. This has now given us a global tool, and Sister Dr. Lotus Riche has proven that. I mean, you look at the people who are coming in, listening to this message. They're from the Philippines. They're from Africa. So we have never had a tool like this to communicate these ideas throughout the melanated diaspora. And so that's what it has evolved into. Did I see this 45 years ago? No, I did not see this 45 years ago. I just knew that this kind of messaging, entrepreneurial development, starting and building our own businesses so that we can become the number one employer of our own people, and connecting and building businesses, and ultimately those businesses being scaled and morphing through strategic alliances, joint ventures, and partnerships, and then us properly managing our wealth. Those were the big two at the time. Now, the number one, I already explained, and that is now the black family is in an existential crisis. We've got to work on, because there's, as I said, no culture has risen in the entire world to maximize their full human potential. I'm saying it again, without family at the center of that culture. And then from family emanates all of addressing the other challenges, and then moving our people to the next level, and then passing the baton. What is the theme of the Power Networking Conference? Well, think about the theme of the Power Networking Conference. Succession, or ascension through succession. Ascension, how do we rise? Right? We pass the baton. That's called a succession plan. We pass the baton to the next generation to take it to the next level. And it has to be done over and over and over until we get it. So
We get it.
it's about us ascending. It's
Yeah.
about developing the right succession plan, and it's about making sure that we are properly orientating and taking our young people to where they need to be, and to put them in the presence of the best and brightest people in the culture at the youngest possible age. And that's why the unique thing that only the Power Networking Conference does, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying,
That's right.
when you get an adult registration,
Yes.
you can automatically bring a young person with you, 18 to 25, college age. You don't have to be in college. You have to be 18 to 25. You can bring in a young person with you at no charge. What other do you know in our culture that does that?
It does that. That's
That's
right.
what we must do. Can you imagine, Coach or Doc, if we had something available to us like this as kids?
My
Can
mind.
you imagine, right? Where we would be? It wasn't available to us at that time. It was our job to produce it. We were the ones who were to produce this
That's it.
future generations,
That's
and we
right.
are.
That's right. So Dr. Fraser, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No excuses.
No excuses. So Dr. Fraser, that's another selling point, right, for attending the conference. It's the fact that we can sit at the feet of the elders. Our young people, our young adults can sit at the feet of the elders the way we used to, right? Way back when, to learn and to develop and to help them create, or us create, the generational wealth. And so that's one of the key points for me. There's something else very unique that you do at the conferences, and it's all about the coaching. Can you talk to us a little bit about the coaches and the mentors and how that came to be and the importance of it?
Yeah, that's a deep question that we had to address. We know that all of us need coaching. All of us need mentoring. I still have a mentor at 79. I have someone that's older than me, who I've known for a lifetime. He mentors me and coaches me. I refer to him. So you never stop needing a life coach. You never stop needing or a mentor. So we have set up our conference in such a way that people can actually we got about 25 coaches. You can get a free coaching session. You make an appointment and you get coaching, one-on-one coaching from professional coaches like Coach Pamela. Okay, they're there for you. If you want to extend that relationship for a year or 6 months, there are opportunities for you to do that as well. So coaching is a part of it. Mentoring is but there's two different things. Mentoring is one thing. Coaching is another thing. The mentoring is, we have workshops. We have subject matter that we cover that is extremely important to your business and personal development. And then we give short talks. We have a thing called the Power Talk, which is our version of the TED Talk. Right? It's about 12 minutes long. And then after that, if it's provocative enough and you're interested in the topic, there is a whole hour and a half workshop that you can go to by the people that you see on this screen. And you can spend quality time with them, but get deeply into training in a specific skill, a specific subject matter expertise, and you could extend that relationship for a year or two with an investment on your behalf. So that's a unique thing. That's part of the culture of the conference. We are about educating, training, coaching, mentoring, and 3 fundamental things that you will need for the rest of your life. A, effective networking skills combined with emotional intelligence. That's 1. Building and properly managing wealth. That's number 2. Building, growing, and scaling a business so that we can ultimately employ our own people and become the number 1 employer of our own people.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's extra awesome. So, Dr. Fraser, you said it in a nutshell. And we have someone all the way from the Philippines. She said, consistent networking, follow through with leads, preparation, and hard work. You said it right, Dr. Fraser.
That's right.
And all the way from the United States, we have Mr. Walters here, or Waiters, I think that is. He said, learn, earn, and return. And Doc, you said it. We have to, when we put something out there, we have to put it out with the mindset of what is our ROI as a people, not just as people of color, but as entrepreneurs, as families, etc. What is our ROI in relationship to what we're putting out? Are we putting out good information? Are we putting out strategic ways, just like this event that's coming up to help people network? Are we putting out strategic ways for people to come together and network? Well, Doc and Coach, you're doing it. And you said it. I cannot wait for you all to join us. And you're going to see my link. I've got an affiliate link. So I want you to go ahead and get your tickets. Don't wait. Don't debate. Don't hesitate. Don't wait too late. Go ahead and get your ticket today. Why wait till tomorrow? Because guess what, Doc? I don't know, but this thing is probably going to be sold out.
Yes, it is.
Doc, you've got some heavy hitters on your platform. So I want to go back to the platform, okay? So many people know that there are a lot of speakers around the world, and you can get any speaker you want. So let me try to go back to the speakers, because I want to talk about some of these speakers that you're having, because I saw Master P in there. So how did Master P get involved?
Master P is a good friend of a good friend. It's through a network. Dr. Tiana Von Johnson is a Master P is her ride and die. She is a superstar at the Power Networking Conference. She will be speaking at the conference. We approached her, and she approached Master P, and Master P loved what we were saying and loved what we were doing. And so he decided that he would bless us with his presence. He is a brilliant entrepreneur. He is almost a billionaire, no question about it. As you can see, our Power mentors there.
Yes.
And our coaches. So Master P will be teaching all the things you need to know about business. There'll be a town hall meeting with Master P. And so that's how we got Master P. Then Rohan Marley. Now, a lot of people may not know Rohan Marley. Rohan Marley is the son of Bob Marley. He's not the most famous of the Marley sons. Ziggy Marley is. But Rohan runs the business and manages the Marley brand, and has taken the Marley brand to $100 million business, and he's going to tell everybody how that works. Okay, so Rohan Marley, of course, Dr. Boyce Watkins, who has 1 million+ followers himself, my ride and die for a long, long time. He will be teaching on wealth as well. And so we can just go down the list, and of course, we are really blessed to have.
And I'm scanning. Yeah, and I'm scanning, Doc, because you got. And excuse me for speaking at the same time, but like, this is astonishing. You got speakers from almost every facet of entrepreneurship. You got Dr. Cheryl Wood in the house. You got Dr. Tiana Von Johnson, Tony Jackson, and so many other power mentors, like heavy hitters. And so you have not left any stone unturned when it comes to women coming in and getting the nourishment they need from both men and women. You have not left any stone unturned when it comes to men coming in and getting the nourishment that they need from men and women. And you didn't just stop there. You went all the way to Lagos, Nigeria, and you got Dr. Linus in the house too. So those of you that are visiting and that are watching from Africa, make sure you come, because we're not leaving you out. Those of you that are in the Philippines, I see you. Those of you that are in Kosovo, I see you. Make sure you come, because Dr. George C. Fraser and Coach Pamela Luhing, they've got a little something for everyone.
Amen. Thank you.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So they have the website address, right? powernetworkingex.com. And they have your affiliate link,
Yes.
right? So it's important that they have that, because this gives them a deep discount.
72.
Well,
I mean,
Doc,
when you go on, you'll
72%.
see that an adult registration is $1,500, and a
Yes.
student registration is $800. You put those two together, that's $2,300. If they get your affiliate link, go to the website, because it's the limited time offer. They will get that same package, an adult and one young person they can bring with them. If they don't have a young person, we will scholarship a local young person in Charlotte, right, with in your name that registration. So you can get a 72% discount. I think it's like $5. So from $2,300 down to $589 or $599, something like that. So it's some crazy brainless offer that we're making, because we want to make it affordable, so that our young brothers and sisters can sit at the feet of masters. Now, we have to calculate the fees that these brothers and sisters who raise their hand to come back to the culture. What is this? Learning, earning, and returning. That's what it is. Learning, earning, and returning. If we have to calculate the fees if they would normally charge to show up someplace that wasn't about this, it'd be $1 million just in speakers' fees.
Exactly.
Right? So these are brothers and sisters who love you, who want to help you, want to add value to your life. You're sitting at the feet of masters. Don't let this get past you. It's going to be now. If you're in Charlotte, you don't have an excuse. You have no airline ticket. You have no hotel fees. The thing is right there at the convention center. Some of you might even be able to walk there if you live downtown. So you have no excuse.
That's right.
So you support it. If you support it, we'll come back. If you support it again, we'll come back again. So we marry those who we are engaged to, right, and with. So this is what we're looking for. We love Charlotte. We selected Charlotte out of many cities that lobbied to get the Power Networking Conference. We had just finished a 3-year stint in Houston. Prior to that, we were in Washington. Prior to that, we were in Dallas. So, and we chose Charlotte as the next place that we're going to do this. So if Charlotte folks turn out, they'll get another one, and they'll keep getting it until they get sick of it.
Wait, excuse me, Dr. Fraser. I know you are real big on words, right, and word choices. I heard the word IF, right? How about when? Can we just substitute that word?
When?
See, this is my ride and die from Charlotte right here.
We're ride and live.
Right, absolutely. When? There you go. Right.
When.
Forget if. When you get your ticket.
Yes,
Right.
right.
When you register, because it's not a ticket. Let me just be clear on that, because I sometimes I hear our team members call it. It's not a ticket. The ticket is something you buy to a baseball game, and you're a spectator. This is the registration. You're registering to change your life. for a new future. That's what you're registering for, right? That's what you're signing up for. It's a contract between you and us to give you greater value than what you invested in, that you can use it for the rest of your life. So when you do this, you do it really for not only for your future, but the future of your family and the future of your children and the future of the culture.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. So I encourage everyone, go ahead and register now. Somebody's going to put my link in the chat so you can have it. Make sure you get that link, because just like we shared here a moment ago with you, listen, you are about to get 72% off. This is unheard of. 72% off. You know, people are flying in, people are driving in, people probably taking their boats and docking in just to be here. And you can too.
And they'll be there from all over the world. We just got a group from Nigeria. 20 are coming over. We have to write a special letter to get them over here. But 20 folks from Nigeria are coming. So if folks can come from Nigeria, about 8,000 miles away, right? And you live in the area, please take advantage of this. So when you get this registration, you will. This really is a diploma in a sense that will add enormous value and help you develop incredible relationships. That's what you want, and bond with people that you would never have access to.
Like the mayor of Charlotte,
Congressman Hakeem Jeffries will be in the House. Now, do you know who Congressman Hakeem Jeffries is?
Yes.
Right? He will be the Speaker of the House when the Democrats take over the House in November.
Yep.
Because the Republicans only have a one-person majority. He will become Speaker of the House. This is one of the most awesome brothers in America. He will be in the House. And you need to greet him and meet him and bond with him. And we must listen to him. And we know what he's going to say. What is he going to say? Vote. That's what he's going to say. Vote.
Well, first of all, he's going to say vote. But I know he's going to say what a magnificent event this is. So if you want to meet him, you want to meet Master P, and you want to meet so many of the other amazing, illustrious speakers, and definitely meet Coach P, meet Coach Pamela Luhing, and of course meet me, because I'm going to be there. Okay. Make sure you get your ticket today. And for those of you that might be just coming to the broadcast, go ahead and put this on repeat, because you do not want to miss anything that was said here on the Lotus Riché Ignite show tonight. All right, fantastic. So with no further ado, I've got to say thank you, Dr. Fraser. You've been marvelous. Coach P, you've been marvelous as always, as usual. And we have some comments from our audience. So before we transition, I want to go back. I saw Miss Terry James. Miss Terry James says, Dr. Tina Von Johnson is my coach. I met her. I met at PNC. Okay. So she met her at PNC. So make sure that you get there. So Terry, let us know what you like, because I brought this up earlier, what you liked about the last one, the previous conference, and what can you share with potential participants? Go ahead and put it in the chat. And if anyone else has a question, go ahead and share your question, because we want to know. So we want to finish up with our return on investment in you, because we're investing in you. We're investing in you. And your return on our investment in you, what is that, Dr. Fraser?
Yeah. No, I love the way you said that. You know what an investment is? An investment is something you expect a return on. That's what an investment is, right? You're guaranteed a return on this investment. This is an investment in you. not in me, in you. And I don't think there's any person on earth or anything better to invest in than to invest in your own personal growth and development, lifelong learning, and constant never ending improvement. Why, Dr. Fraser? So that you can die with memories and not dreams. Our job is to help you turn your dreams into memories.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Mhm.
That's good stuff. Coach P, can you talk about that particular statement as well?
You know, Dr. Fraser said it all, and that really was like the nightcap, right? That was it.
The mic drop, the mic drop.
The mic drop. That's the mic
drop.
drop. But you know, I really like to share this for the number people out there, right? So if you go to the home page of the website, and I want to end on this note, Doc, because you have the history of your numbers for the Power Networking Conference that is now the Power Networking Experience and Expo. But $2 billion in conference contracts have been created over the past 22 years.
That's right.
You've had over 1,200 speakers.
Right.
There have been over 175,000 in attendance.
Right.
Over 950 workshops and over 320 sponsors.
Wow.
And so when you just sit and marinate on those numbers alone, then you go to the website and you just get your registration because there's nothing else to think about.
That's right.
If you're
That's
ready
it.
to grow personally, if you're ready to grow professionally, you're going to develop your network. Your network is your net worth. Right, Doc?
Exactly.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's it.
Your network will determine your net worth. Introduce me to your 5 closest friends, and that will tell me who you are. As they
Right.
know and as they go, so go you. What am I saying to you? Don't spend major time with minor people. People going nowhere want you to go nowhere with them. People doing nothing want you to do nothing with them. If you want to change your life, change your relationships. Where's the best place, the best space, a safe space to do that? The 23rd annual Power Networking Experience and Expo. And now I don't know how long you've been Black, but I've been Black for nearly 80 years. And you cannot produce something for 23 consecutive years for Black people that's not extraordinary, because Black people will put your ass out of business in a New York minute if it ain't all that and a bag of chips. They will not return. So this is our 23rd year. We're hoping to celebrate our 25th year in the great Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And when you come to Charlotte, you're going to have a great time. I want you to go here and look at all the days. He's got the schedule up. The team is ready, right? And it's trying to get you tight. So make sure you go here and look at what's happening on day 1. Okay. Then I want you to click here and look at what's happening on day 2. Okay, you're going to get the Power Network. You're going to get breakfast on your own. You're going to get your prayer and your meditation. Okay, and then look at what's happening on day 3. Make sure you go there and scroll all the way down and see what's happening. The sponsor commercial, the 60-second, the BBLHOF, Black History Moment. You don't want to miss that. The Instagram or the Instacam social media go live. Make sure you check that out. And then day 4, we're going to give you some more, because we're going to come back and start the day right and tight with prayer. We're going to do a power workout, a breakfast on your own. And if you want to know more about that, get your ticket and go to the page and find out. So with no further ado, we're going to go to final words of wisdom. Coach Pam, we're going to go right to you. And Dr. Fraser, you'll have the last word of wisdom. Coach P.
Get registered. Get registered. Dr. Fraser?
Yeah.
I yield.
Well, you just took my thought right out of my brain. I don't know if there's anything that can be said other than helping. We just can't say it enough. The power of the human connection. That's really, really what we're talking about. Right? And I call the human connection customer service. And for me, customer service is close to a worship service. Right? You cannot succeed without others. Your wealth is determined, and your riches are determined by the people that you add value and serve. That's what we'll be doing 4 intense days, 12 hours a day. You don't want to miss that.
That's right.
Let's call that metaphorically a Thanksgiving dinner for personal growth and development. I mean, you're going to have all the dressings, the side dishes, enough a turkey and a ham, and some pork chops. So it's the place to be. It's fun too, because the culture is our culture. We are certainly about having a good time and learning and growing together. That's what it's got to be. So we'll see you at the Power Networking Experience in Expo.
And make sure
if you want to exhibit, go to the website. If you want to exhibit, if you want to be an exhibitor, you can also exhibit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And listen, if you can't go to the website for some reason, connect with me directly. Connect with Coach P. Connect with Dr. Fraser. Connect. Because it's time for you to step up to your next level of excellence. Make sure you check the link down below at powernetworkingconference.com/?coupon equal Riche 51. That's me. So get your ticket today. And with no further ado, we asked one of our viewers to share what her experience was. So before we leave, we got to tell you this. Terry James said it was amazing to see so many Black billionaires in one place. She didn't say thousandaires. She said millionaires? No, she said billionaires. To see all these billionaires in one place. I had never been in a place where everyone made you believe you can dream big and accomplish it. Dr. Fraser took pictures with everyone. And if you want to have some fun and take pictures with everyone, come on and get your ticket today, because you need to start seeing seeding into your return. So thank you for everyone that's joined us today, and we'll see you on the inside of the upcoming conference that's coming your way. Get your ticket today. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching the show. And remember, always follow us on Facebook. Like and share, and make sure you tag a friend and let them know that you care. Let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present for you.
Thank you for watching the show, and follow us on YouTube. Ring that bell so you don't miss a thing. See you on the next episode of the Lotus Riche Ignite Show, where we're helping you to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. If you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at Lotus at lotusricheignitesyou.com. Ignite your mind and ignite your life.